Happy 2025, everyone. Glad to finally be back doing these live streams. I know it's been a little while, been kind of busy, been kind of doing a lot of other things in the meantime, but definitely want to get back at it. If you haven't seen already, we have updated the website. Now have merch as well. I'm actually waiting on mine to ship here. So hopefully with the next Mr. Robot Monday, I can actually be wearing some of the merch. So yeah, check it out. Show your friends, buy some merch, everything is completely revamped. I actually had to go with a different hosting company. There was issues that I had with a certain company that I was using previously. Their help or support team was not knowledgeable on something that was going on. Essentially what had happened is that one of my it was a managed package, meaning that they pretty much did everything for me, right? I just kind of designed everything, and they, it was hands-off approach. They made sure that there was automatic updates, things of that sort. Apparently that didn't happen. Once it renewed, they did not update they did not update the SSL certificate on the host, and so ended up crashing the website. The website was down. Obviously, nobody was able to connect to it via browser. Luckily, just because that was missing, I was still able to access it on the back end. So I just downloaded everything that I had and went with a new hosting company. Reached out to their support team, told them what was going on. I told them exactly what was going on. None of them listened to me. They told me to change DNS settings. They had me change the name servers that were actually pointing to my web app firewall to this specific hosting site. And I told them, hey, this isn't right. You're just bypassing my firewall at this point. Never had an issue before. I'm telling you, this is exactly what's going on. And they were like, well, you made DNS changes now, so we have to wait 48 hours. So I didn't even wait the 48 hours. I just went to another hosting site. So I don't want to name drop. I don't want to give them a bad rep or anything, but man, was their customer service horrible. Absolutely horrible. Anyway, so today I'm actually going to share a few things first before we dive into one of the hack the box things. So what you're seeing right here is Meta's business suite, right? So I open it up for Savage Hack. Immediately, almost as soon as I clicked the button to create, I started getting flooded with some of these messages here, right? And originally what I was going to do was kind of dive deep into tracking them down, but then I kind of thought about it. I don't want to promote anything illegal on this site. I don't want to promote anything that you shouldn't be doing. Granted, open source intelligence is completely legal, but at the same time, I don't want to dox anybody, even if they are scam artists and they're probably not in this country. Doxing can still be, somewhat illegal. So yeah, I didn't want to kind of promote that, so what I am going to do is kind of show these messages and show, if you are a business owner, you want to teach somebody about, phishing scams and things of that sort. This is exactly what it's going to look like, right? Generally speaking, most of the time when people are quote unquote hacked, it's due to a phishing campaign. A lot of the times it's identity based, right? So they're trying to get your username and password, because why hack anything if you're just going to give it to me anyway, So one of the first messages I saw was this one. It actually had a picture when I first saw it, something like how this, oh wait, I'm not even sharing. There we go. My apologies. Anyway, so this was the first message that I saw. It did have a profile picture originally. I guess they deleted that. They probably shut down the account, whatnot. But it looked very similar to this, except it was Facebook oriented. So as you can see here, it says, "Dear Savage Hack, your account will be subject to certain restrictions and in more severe cases may be deactivated due to post content or images that violate our community standards. This decision was made after a thorough review in accordance with our user protection policies, violation ID, whatever this is. If you believe this to be an unintended situation or misunderstanding, please submit a complaint request, a review before your account is deleted. Submit your complaint here. We understand the situation, blah, 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 whatever." So yeah, this was sent to me. Whenever you go to click on this link right here, don't worry, I've already checked out the link and everything. There's nothing that they're grabbing from me while clicking on this. They're getting me to give them information, right? So whenever I clicked on this, it takes me to a page right here. kind of looks like, how Facebook would, right? If you were configuring something in Facebook, it seems kind of legit, right? With the exception of the, URL up here. But if you're not looking at that URL, you could easily fall victim to something like this, as it does pop up on Facebook, much like this, right? So it's saying the security of your account is at risk. Your page was restricted on January 6th. Oh wow, it had been updated to today. Yeah, they're pretty good at that. Anyway, if you click on continue, it takes you to somewhat of a Facebook page. Doesn't quite look right, but I mean, if you're not really expecting something like this, or you're in a panic, you're freaking out because your business site is all of a sudden having certain restrictions placed upon it, violations, things of that nature. You might not be looking at this, and you might not be looking like into what it is that you're actually seeing here, right? So what they, well, there we go. I'm not going to click on any more of those because it might actually expose my information. But they want you to fill this out, right? Like name a fan page, so your business page, I guess, your full name, even though there should be a space there. Another thing, business email address. Another thing to look at, that doesn't spell business, right? Like their subdomain there is misspelled even. And check the useraccount.com. I don't even know what that means. But anyway, like I said, if you're tired, in a rush, you're freaking out about something, you might click on that. You might fill out this information. Business email address, personal email address, phone number, and then please provide us information that will help with this investigation. You fill that out, you click send. I may have to fill this out. Let me drag this over real quick so that I'm not exposing my information due to the auto fill in. I'm just filling this out with like ASDF on everything. So except for the phone number, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Help. Okay. Let me drag this back over so you can see. Oh no, it's freaking out on me. Right. So I said my page name is ASDF, full name is that, whatever. You click send, and then much like how Facebook does, whenever you make any kind of like configuration changes, right? It's gonna pop up, say enter your password. Okay, I'll enter a password. I'll enter password 1. So essentially what you're doing here is you just gave them your login information, right? So you're giving them your Facebook password. We entered in, your uh, page name, and then the email address, whatnot, right? So we click continue. Oh, it says it's incorrect. I think it has to be a certain length. Yeah, it had to be a certain length. So if I'll expose this here, I typed in password 123 exclamation point. And so it just takes you back to this page right here after you just literally gave them your information. Again, I was going to track them down. I was going to go ahead and grab this domain name, kind of see who it's registered to, see if we can report them, which I've already actually done. I've reported this domain on the hosting site that it's on. We'll probably hear back from their support team like maybe 2 or 3 days. This isn't the first one I've reported. I've reported dozens of these to the point that I've pretty much almost got it automated. But anyway, yeah, I was gonna kind of track down, see who it was, see if we can get the information from these people. But again, I don't want to promote anything that might be illegal on this. This is a positive environment, educational environment, right? So I am not going to do that today, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, just a recap. Always check your URLs of anything that you click on, uh, whether it looks legitimate or not. Definitely always look at that URL. If it is not part of the domain that you're intended to look at, stay away from it. Report it. Send it to spam. Whatever. Just stay away from it. So yeah, that was a fun time. Anyway, let's jump into a hack the box. I've already started my VPN. I believe I've already started the machine as well. So I'm gonna do broker today. It is one of the retired machines. Again, I cannot do the Seasonal, I can't do the still live machines because if I do that, it violates the terms of service for Hack the Box. So I can't do like a live stream on that. I do, however, do those machines and then I do write ups. And then once I'm able to provide those write ups, you can see them on my site. Uh, anyway, yeah. So today we're going to do broker. So this is our target IP address. I'm going to go ahead and copy that and I will get this box out of our way. Let's open up a terminal here. Whoops, I think I clicked Firefox. I sure did. Not mean to open up Firefox. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and scan all of those ports. We'll find out what kind of services are running on those ports. And I should say, I do apologize for anyone trying to watch from Instagram. I was having issues with it again. I seem to have constant issues with Instagram live streaming. I don't know why. Wasn't able to do it this time, but I am streaming on other platforms and whatever platform you're looking at. There should be an option to comment, whether it's Facebook, you're commenting in there, whatnot. I will see it on the screen. So if you have any questions, any point in time, definitely let me know. So we'll go ahead and use Nmap. I don't think I'm going to scan all ports. I think I'll just scan major ports. And then I will do the output into an nmap.txt file. Actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and start this new year off right. So we'll go ahead and make a directory and we will name that, what is this called? Broker. All right, so we're going to work out of broker so that we keep everything organized. New year, new me, right? No, just kidding. Same old me. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and use nmap. Whoops, nmap. I clicked the wrong thing. Paste clipboard. There we go. And do the output to nmap.txt. I will go ahead and run that. Two ports open, port 80, port 22. And then I will go ahead and do a full scan. Full scan of all the ports. We'll see if there's any like random ones that might pop up. In the meantime that I'm scanning that, I'm going to go ahead and visit that web server there that's running on port 80. The site is asking you to log in. Username and password. We'll try admin and admin. No way. Oh, yeah. Active MQ, huh? Wonder what that is. Active MQ. I'm not too familiar with Apache, so this is something new to me. Active MQ. I'm not entirely sure what that is. So let's Google. Yeah. Apache MQ exploits. Maybe, I don't know. Did it say it was Apache? Oh, I didn't do a full thing. That's why. Never mind. I'll go back and look at that. So there's a reverse shell Apache ActiveMQ on GitHub here. I don't know if there's a version number associated. Let's take a look. Let's go to the documentation here. Let's see. Oh, there's an admin panel. Okay. I feel like I've done one of these before with ActiveMQ. Now that I'm clicking on some of this, I just don't know. I don't remember much of it. So it doesn't look like it's configured in any kind of way. There we go. There's a version number. 5.15.15. Does this one require... Let's kind of see what this does first. Let's do 5.15.15 exploits. So it says there's CVE patching. So what's the CVE? I think that was the same one, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go back and take a look. Yeah. Okay. So this should work then. Manually change the IP address on line 11 in the XML files with the IP address where the payload will be generated. If you follow the commands, it will be your listener IP address. Also, IP of hosted XML file will be your listening IP address. Okay. All right. Let's grab it and kind of go through this. Grab another terminal here. Actually, you just go back to the same terminal. Whoops. Okay, so there are other ports open. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go with this, and if I don't find anything, if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna check out some of these other ports here. So we will do git clone, paste in the URL. Let's grab that. Cool. We'll change directory into it. Boom. All right, so we have an exe. We obviously aren't going to use that. A readme, go mod, main go, POC Linux XML file, and then POC Windows. So we're obviously going to be using the Linux and then the go here. So let's see what we got to do here. All right, so it says to use MSF Venom to create a reverse TCP shell. So we'll go ahead and do that. If I can stop copying everything, that'd be wonderful. I'll go ahead and open up a new terminal for that. I will paste that in. All right. So we'll need to change the listening port. We'll change that to, I don't know, the standard Metasploit, right? 4444. We'll go ahead and use that. And then we will change our localhost to 10, 10, 16, 17. As annotated up here in the right-hand corner, that is our VPN connection to Hack the Box so that we're on their network. We'll go ahead and hit enter, let that create, and I'm going to read a little bit more here. So it tells you to open up a simple server on Python, and then we will run active mqrce-i. We'll have the target IP and then -u, our IP of the XML file. So it said something. So we have to change our IP address in the XML file. So we can do that. So I will nano, which one is it? POC-linux.x. XML, not HML. Let's see here. Yep, so we got to change our IP address here. I guess we'll just use port 8001 on our listener, just like they did. So our IP address is going to be 10, 10, 16, 17. And we kept the same name, test.elf. So if you do change it, I guess you'll need to change all of that in here. So we'll go ahead and write that, hit Control O, hit enter, and then we will hit Control X to back out of that. Okay. So next up, I will open up, let's see. Oops. Keep opening that terminal for some reason. All right, so we have our test.elf. We have our reverse shell here. So let's fire up Python simple server here. We'll do port 8001 like they specified within the XML file. All right, so it is running. What else? Is there anything else that we're missing before we try this? So I guess I'll copy this command here. And since this is an exe file, I assume I'm just going to use the main go, right? So let me change all of this. Well, I might be able to just, we can try it. Why not? What's the target IP address? We had that as 10, 10, 11, 243. Now our IP address with the POC Linux, which we have, what is it, 10, 10, 16, 17. All right. So what this is essentially going to do, it looks like, is I'm going to run the script here, and it's going to basically upload this poc-linux.xml to the server and then essentially run it, right? Or not run it, but from there, it's going to end up downloading. Where is it? There we go. It's going to end up sending a request to download the test.elf from our HTTP server as outlined within the XML file. So if this does work, what you should see is something popping up here saying, it's going to be a GET request to download the test.elf. And I think I need to have another listener open if I'm not mistaken. Because I did, yeah, I mean, I should, right? I don't see any other commands for it. But yeah, let me open up a netcat listener. And we'll do 4444 because that was what we did on that payload. And then so if that works, then you should see a connection here as well. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Let me use go, main go. Uh-oh. So we use go and then main.go. Do I not have go installed? Wait a minute. Maybe make it executable. Am I typing that in wrong? What is it called? Oh, main.go. I'm such an idiot. Yeah, I typed it in right. Okay. So yeah, let's give it executable permissions there. Main.go. Let's try that again. No, unknown command. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? Somebody help me. Somebody comment. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. May have to Google this. Let's see. Go run. Go run. I had to Google. I actually literally Googled how to run a Go script in Linux, and yeah, that was the first thing that popped up. It says use Go run. As you can see there, that's hilarious. Anyway, cool. So let's try Go run then. Come on. There we go. So Go run. Okay. It's not found because it's not in the. It's in this directory here. Okay, so let's go back. We'll cancel this, right? We'll go into broker and then into the CVE. There we go. So now we'll run a Python server from here. Uh-oh. Already in use. 1 second. Logging into Notion here. Not entirely sure why, but yeah, it's still established. So we can use a kill command. I just don't recall it offhand. It's been a little while since I've been, on here. Done any of this. A lot of the stuff you forget if you don't use it. Like I know there is a command to do it. It's just trying to find that command. So I will find it here in 1 second. This is why I keep notes, right? Let's see. Nope, that's not it. That is not it. Where is it? There it is. So netstat dash tulnp grep, and then that port number was 8001. There we go. So essentially, this is still running for some reason. We'll just need to kill that listener. I don't know why it's still listening on that port. Whenever I hit Control C, or maybe I backgrounded it. Maybe that was it. It doesn't. So, oh, this isn't. It says suspended, but yeah, whatever. We'll grab that process ID here. Copy that. We'll do sudo kill 9 to completely kill it. There we go. So now we should be able to run that server again. There we go. Cool. Problem solved. It just takes a little bit of remembering, I guess. And the notes help. So let's run this again. Cool. So it got elf test.elf. No, yeah, it did. Oh no, so it's trying to pull test.elf from here. And it's not in this folder. That is an issue, right? So that's why it's not able to. And that's generally why I do these CTFs on the main folder there, is because anything that I download is already going to be there. I don't have to move anything. It is what it is. Anyway, so we will move what is it? Home savage hack slash what's it called? Elf dot test. No, they're test dot elf. What was it called? Yeah, test dot elf. And we'll move that here. Cool. Alrighty, cool. So there, now we have it. Now let's try and run that again, shall we? Let's run this again and let's see if it works. There we go. Now we got a connection. So let's see, who am I? We are active MQ. So we have a foothold now within this host. So first things first, let me go ahead and print working directory. So we are in the opt folder in the binaries. So I will cd to home, cd into active MQ. If I can spell, cd active. Oh, they spelled it. Well, I spelled it wrong. Never mind. Active MQ. We will cat that user.txt, grab this flag. We will copy that. Let me pull over the hack the box UI here. Paste in our flag, hit submit. Boom. So we got the user flag, right? We have our foothold. We are now in their actual system. Now we got to poke around, see if we can get root access within their system, right? So the first thing that I generally like to do is to, well, first of all, I'm going to strengthen the shell a little bit. And this does come in handy. Actually, I know I've shown it in the past. I always like to show this off. So notion.so, if you want to take good notes, this is a very easy way to do it. And it doesn't matter if you lose everything on your computer. This is all web based, right? It's all cloud based. So you'll have it anywhere you go. All you have to do is just log into their website, and boom, you have all of your stuff. I use it for all kind of things. I've used it for OSWP. I've used it for OSCP. I've used it for some of my SANS courses as well. Just making extra notes for things that I might, need along the way. Highly recommend doing this, especially if you're going to get into the pen testing world, right? Like, you're always going to forget things. New things are going to arise where you may have to use something old from the past. Notion's definitely going to help out with keeping those notes straight. So I'm going to go into my shell commands here and stability, right? I'm just going to copy one of these. And let's get a more stable shell there. There we go. So now you can see I am ActiveMQ at broker. So what I'd like to do first before anything, especially on these CTFs, right, is check out my sudo privileges. So I'll run sudo-l, see if there's anything that I can run as roots. It looks like I can run something here as root. So it has nginx that I can run with no password using the sudo command. So I'm not entirely 100% familiar with nginx. I mean, I know it's for web server, or it's a essentially a web server. Let me look a bit further into that because I'm not sure how I can leverage this to get root, but I can guarantee this is the pathway, right? So it's going to take me a little bit of reading, a little bit of time here, but we can definitely deep dive into this. So let's see. I'm going to Google Nginx server root exploit, maybe. Let's see if somebody already made one. And I am not seeing much here in regard to that. So let me check out and Google a couple more things here. Mm. Alrighty. Let's go in there. Let's see what's in there first, right? So we'll cd into user s binaries, nginx, not a library, let's dash. Okay. Let me try. Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google all of this. I'm not entirely sure. So we'll do. Sometimes it just takes some reading and you get through it. While I'm going through this, though, if you are watching on any of the platforms, actually, you can comment, ask any questions. If you have any questions, let me know. I suck. If I suck, completely fine either way. Really don't care. Feel free to engage. I'll try to respond. I can actually display it here on the screen. So this is what I was wondering. There needs to be configuration file associated with this. Obviously, there does, right? If it's going to be a web server, so it's in the exe. Let me see if it is located within there. Which one were we under? Not that one. This one. So let's go to the configuration files folder in Etsy. Let's see, is there an Nginx here? There is. Nginx config. So let's see. Do they have nano? Let's see if they have nano. Nginx.config. Okay. User, worker, process is unwritable. Huh. Oops. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Man, I messed up. Gonna have to redo that exploit because I didn't have proper persistence. Not a big deal. Boom, we're back. Let me copy that. Where? Oh, what did I do with it? Copy that command. I will get that stability back. There we go. All right. So I wasn't able to edit the configuration file that's there, but I'm wondering if the configuration file needs to be in the same folder that it's running at. So I'm actually going to look that up as well. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so there is an Nginx DAV module. I'm actually pulling this up here. Forget that I'm not sharing both my screens, so sorry about that. So there is an example of the configuration here. So this looks like it's going to include like put, delete, copy, move. So if we can use like put command, we can definitely use that to our benefit to either put a reverse shell on there. We won't be able to run it, but uh, we might be able to use like SSH keys to put on there, right? So if we set up a web server, it's going to be local on that host, right? But it's going to be running. And if it is running as root and we use this put command to essentially put SSH keys onto the local host of root, then we should be able to SSH in as root locally, at least, I believe. Let me see if we can try that. So I'm gonna have to craft this ahead of time because if I don't, I feel like I'm gonna have to re-exploit again, right? So I don't want to do that. So user root. Actually, I'm gonna have to go line by line, aren't I? Yeah, I'll have to. Mm, there might be an easier way. Let me keep googling. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. All right. So we're essentially gonna have to have the user root, right? Let me go back to. We can just use this configuration file. Let me see if I'm able to copy that, or let me grab one from the interwebs here. All right. So I'm gonna have to go line by line in this. Trying to see what's the. Oh wait. I can just send it to myself. I'm such an idiot. Dear God. All right, man. Let's see. Cat. What was it called? So it was in the Etsy file, right? So Etsy Nginx. There we go. All right. So let me copy this config. Paste it in here. So we need the user as root, right? because that's essentially what we're going to need access to. So we'll set that as root. Worker processes. Don't know what that means. Let me Google that real quick. Worker processes. Nginx handles incoming requests. I mean, I guess I can leave that as auto. I don't know. PID. So this is the process ID. I wonder if we're able to change this to something else. We'll put it in the temp folder. Include Etsy Nginx modules enabled. I mean, I don't see why we would need to change that. HTTP basic settings. Listen on localhost 110. So we'll still need the dav methods there though, because I will need that puts because I'll have to put that. I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate that. You know what? Let's cheat a little bit. Let's use Chat GPT, shall we? Don't recommend using Chat GPT if you're doing OSCP, but you're not going to see anything like this on OSCP. So study on with that. I'm just technically just using my resources available, right? I'm not that familiar with the configuration files for Nginx as I've never had to configure one. So this will save a little bit of time. In the meantime, kind of learn, how it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna run in ChatGPT, and let's see what we can find out with this. Mm, okay, so we can try what this is spitting out. So I won't need mail or anything. Let's see. We'll just need HTTP and then the server. Then listen. Do localhost 4444. We won't need a protocol. I can get rid of this as it's commented out anyway. User root work. Okay, cool. Then down below, we will put in our dav methods. Put. Okay. Let me make sure this is correct. This is all commented out. I'm gonna put this into ChatGPT again just to make sure that it is correct and would work correct. Freaking love Chat GPT, man. This thing's amazing sometimes. So if you have anything that's like initially wrong or whatever, like it'll just spit it out for you. It's freaking phenomenal. So let me go ahead and copy what they put. I will put that in there. So replace with your desired directory. So I just wanted /root, right? Because that's where we're gonna put that whatchamacallit, SSH keys if we can essentially go this route. We'll see here. Oh, somebody commented, I am working on my Google cybersecurity cert. That is awesome, man. How long is that going to take you? I'm not too familiar with their certifications, though I know that they have some good ones that I've heard of. But that is awesome. I actually might take a look into some of those Google certs. I have a ton right now. Like I have Sec Plus, I have CISA Plus, OSWP, OSCP. I have 4 SANS courses that I did. So I did the GPEN, the penetration testing, the cloud penetration testing, incident handler, and then the red team professional. So I ended up getting their undergraduate, or I'm sorry, their graduate certificate program. Started on the first, and you're halfway through it, dude. That is awesome. Yeah, keep killing it, man. What exactly do you want to pursue, or do you already work in cybersecurity, or are you looking for like a specific job in it? So I'm gonna save that as what was it called? Config, Nginx config. I don't want to name it the same thing. I'll just name it. I'll just name it n.config, right? Just so I know the difference. I don't want to get the two mixed up if I bring it over there. Uh-oh, didn't mean to paste it there. Whoops. Alrighty, so let's clear that out. Let's go to, or let's clear. I can't do that because the variable's not set. Completely fine. Let's see. Looking to become a pen tester. Okay. But I hope to start out as an analyst, get my foot in the door. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I this is all still somewhat new to me. I separated active duty Air Force in 2020, right before the pandemic occurred. Before then, I was just a gun toter, literally like I deployment, rotations and whatnot for a long time. Did a little bit of law enforcement there, but nothing like any of this, right? So this is all still kind of new to me, but I started grinding out certs and everything. Got a pretty good job now in cybersecurity. Oh, nice, dude. 2006. That's awesome. I didn't join until 2009. Like I was a little bit late. I was like 23, almost 24 when I joined. But yeah, man, that's awesome. Thanks for your service. Alrighty, let's see here. Well, actually, let me go ahead and ask you. What was your AFSC? I was security forces. Now I'm actually in the reserves as a cyber trans guy. But yeah, man, appreciate that. I mean, oh, fuels. Oh, that's dope. I actually had a few friends that were in fuels when I was stationed at Moody. Uh, really cool guys. But yeah, you can see all the stuff behind me here. This is like a lot of my military, stuff. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Alrighty. What was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna see if we have wget. Let's go to. I don't remember the folder file path. Okay, so it was in the S binaries. Let's go to. Oh man, so I never got to go to Guam. I've been to Pope Air Force Base up in North Carolina. Went there for some training. Actually, we were at Fort Bragg for a little bit. Went up there for some training. Kind of stopped on base there, but yeah, I never got to go to Guam, man. I went to Korea. Got to do town patrol in Osan. That was really awesome. Went to England. I absolutely hated it there. Did not want to be there. Will probably never go back in my life. And then, yeah, I was at Moody, and then my last tour was in Vegas. My last duty station was in Vegas in 2019. Vegas wasn't bad. I actually almost re-enlisted as a cop there, but I knew that the leadership wouldn't last because I had really awesome leadership while I was there. All right, so let's see if they have. So they have wget. So we can do wget http 10, 10, 16, 17. So what I'm doing now is just downloading that file that we created onto that host that we've compromised, right? What was it called? It's called in.config. So slash in.config. Guam was great until about the 5 month, then it sucked. Oh, dude, that sucks, man. Was it due to poor leadership? That was generally the case every time I'd see it. Four not fa- Oh, right, because I am running Python on this and not in the main folder. So let's run Python. Oops. Just island life wasn't for it. Yeah, I can understand that, man. I I can imagine it being like really really great as soon as you get there, and then just kind of getting sick of it by the end. Like that's why I would never join the Navy. Like I don't know how those guys could stay on ships for months at a time and just not even be around anybody else like that. I can definitely understand that, dude. All right, let's run this again. Whoops. So wget http. We'll do 10, 10, 16, 17. Port 8001. And then in.config. What is it not? What did I name this thing? Oh, I named it actual config. Let me rename that. File, save as. Well, that's a problem. There we go. Cool. One more time. wget http 10, 10, 16.17 port 8001. And then in dot config. Cool. Permission denied. Okay. Maybe let's go to a temp folder. Cool. So there's nothing in there. So we'll download that to the temp folder. Oh my God, dude. I just cannot type today. Completely fine. Let me copy this. We'll paste it in there. Make that work. What? What am I missing here? Oh my God. Oh, dude. Why? Wow. Might help if you copy the command too. I'm just having a hard time today, man. I got to get back in the swing of this. All right, let's paste that in there. There we go. So now we have our config file. Now let's see how we need to set this up. So you should be able to use the -c command to run that. So let's do sudo nginx -c. And we are in the temp folder, and then this is in.config. I may have to run it from the direct file. So we'll run sudo user sbin nginx -c temp in.config. Nope. Okay, let me try go into the actual folder to run. That's odd. I feel like that should have worked, but whatever. Okay. It's definitely there. I'm not sure. That's odd. I wonder why that's not working. It may be the actual configuration. Yeah, man. So right now we actually have a foothold within a host machine. We are this active MQ. So we exploited an Apache server and ended up getting a foothold as this user. Right now, we're trying to escalate our privileges. And what I have found so far is that if I run sudo -l, that I am able to run the nginx command. And I'm actually able to run nginx as root with no password involved. So I'm trying to figure out a way to exploit that. So I'm trying to run that server while making a configuration file set up so that we can actually download and put SSH keys for root onto the local host, so that from there we can just SSH in as root. So that's what I'm working on right now. Actually, let me share. This is actually the box that we're doing right now. It's called Broker on Hack the Box. So if you want to download and kind of walk through, you can definitely follow along that way, or you just want to watch, completely fine. If you have any questions, man, let me know. How many certs did you have before you landed a job in cybersecurity? All I had was Sec Plus at the time, and I had to have that to get into the reserves as a cyber trans dude. So that was the only one that I had. I managed to go to a company called Optiv for a while. I was a consultant for them for a while. I'm not going to say where I work now, but it is a major cybersecurity company. But I kind of like to keep those, separate from my hobbies and whatnot. Yep, absolutely. Working on a hack the box, which it is giving me some difficulty at this point, but we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. So what I'm not understanding is why this is failing. So it's giving me a error code. Let me copy this and see if we can Google on that. And this does it sucks a lot of the times whenever you're doing these CTFs and you're not familiar with something, because it does take a lot of time. Like you'll have to read this, like I'm having to read through some of the Nginx stuff. But I do enjoy reading. I do enjoy learning. So the next time I have something that comes across like Nginx, I'm like, yeah, hey, I know how to exploit that. Let me go ahead and do that real quick, right? Whoops. Yeah, man, definitely. If you want, shoot me over your information to sam@savagehack.com. We can kind of touch base there. I know a lot of people in the industry, man. So based on the cert that you have and the experience and the knowledge and whatnot, I can probably try to help you like land a job there, man. At some of the big places too. So uh yeah, definitely shoot me an email to sam@savagehack.com. Cisco's ethical hacker course was just free right now. Oh, that's dope, man. I haven't heard of their course. I was actually supposed to get the Cisco cert, the CNA, whenever I graduated from tech school. I just never went and took it. I could probably pass it if I wanted to, but haven't taken that one yet. But yeah, man, that's dope. Anything that's free is always awesome. So I'm trying to figure out why. Why does this not? What am I doing wrong here? So Chat GPT, let me know, man. Let me know. I swear AI has been like the best thing for this. All right, so this error typically occurs when the mime.types file the Nginx is trying to reference does not exist in the specified location. Let me see here. Mm. Oh, that's why I include mime type. Let me take all this out. Maybe that's why. Whoops. So I just yeah, that's exactly why it's spitting that out because this it was looking for the mime types and they're in this folder that I can't edit. But that's why I was using the -c command is I was trying to bypass that so I wouldn't have to have uh, a config file within the etc configuration files there. So what I'm gonna do is actually just got it to spit out another thing for me. So we're gonna we're gonna reference that and we're gonna use that. So, whoops. It's not going to let me copy the style of it. There we go. Cool. All right, cool. So, still user root. It changed the worker processes. I don't know why it changed to 4, but it was on auto. And then we'll need to change the. No, that's fine. So we changed the listener. Let's change that to 4444. Thanks, ChatGPT. Let's see if this works. All right, so it's still in.config. So what I'm going to do is go to the temp folder again. I'm going to actually remove in.config. And then I am going to re-download. So we'll use wget again. 10, 10, 16, 17. What was it, port 8001 that we're running on Python server, and then we will do in.config, re-download that file. It is in there. Now, let's try to run that command again. Let's see, where was it? So sudo nginx, copy that. Run this command again, use the -c command. There we go. Okay, there we go. It actually ran. So now let's use netstat ato. So, yeah, as you can see, there is a listening port on 4444. Shoot, I just screwed the pooch on that. Let me go ahead and refire. I'll need to change the Python server into this folder first. Oops. Cool, so we'll run that again. Let's try it. Get that connection back. There we go. All right, so that is running. So now we'll need to, let's see. Sorry, I'm missing a bunch of these. So I'm working on Hack the Box. It's called Broker. Hello. Cool, man. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that. I won't be able to obviously respond until after this a little bit later. But yeah, dude, I'll see what we can do, man. Just doing a Hack the Box, man. It is an easy box. We definitely got a foothold very, very easily, but the privilege escalation is showing to be a little bit of a pain. Where is my, let me pull this up again for you. So this is the box that we're currently working on is broker. So we've already got a foothold. We've already got the user flag. We're just working on our privilege escalation at this point, which I am not too familiar with Nginx and its capabilities and exploit capabilities for privilege escalation. So I'm not used to their so from what I see is I'm able to run Nginx as root, but again, like Nginx, it's all I know what it is, but I haven't really dealt with it, so I'm having to learn a little bit about the configuration files and whatnot first before we try to completely exploit. But I figure that since I am running it as root, I can set it up so that I can download the or not download, but put the SSH keys out there so that I can essentially use those to SSH in as root. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I may not finish this box today. I don't know. We're gonna see, but that's currently what I'm working on. All right. So the next thing that we'll need to do, actually, let me re-strengthen that shell. Let me run that command again here. We'll strengthen that shell just so I know. I like to have it like that so that I know, what folder I'm in, what directory I'm in at the time, which one I'm working out of. I tried it before to root it with Nginx on a different box. Yeah, so I'm able to run sudo on it with no password. So as you can see here, sudo -l. I'm able to run it with no password, right? But it's just from there, like I'm trying to figure out how to actually exploit that into it. But I figure I should be able to get SSH keys onto it. So that should be the next thing, right? Now that I actually have it running. Uh, it is running as root right now on 4444. So the next thing I'm going to do is use SSH keygen. We'll create those SSH keys. That works. That works. No passphrase. Cool. So we have SSH keys in active MQ's home directory under SSH. So we have those there. So now I got to figure out how to get those or put those onto it, right? So I believe, so since it's webdav, right? Let me pull that reference back up again. I should be able to just use the put command, right? So if I send like a curl request, I can send a curl request, use put instead of get to essentially put those up there. We'll see if that works. So let's try curl. Actually, let me see if they have curl. Okay, so they do. It is installed in there. So we'll do curl -x, right? And then we'll use the put command instead of get. So normally if you're running like your web browser, right, you're going to a website, it's going to hit a get request and it's going to download that main page, which is actually just a file within the server, right? But your web browser displays it as, you know, the graphics and everything else that come along with it. Sometimes you do have the put command enabled, which means that you can actually put files, you know, on those things, right? So it is going to be localhost. Let's just do 127.0.0.1 as the IP address. It is running on port 4444. Trying to think of how to craft this. May need to use Chat GPT again. It's just the crafting of this. Like I know what I want it to do. I'm just trying to think through it. Sometimes my brain just kind of goes, you know, other ways, and that's okay. I'm sure I'm not the only one that just kind of like likes to think things through before actually executing. So I know that I want to put it on the root directory, right? So we'll put it in the root directory. We want it to be in the SSH directory of root. We'll need it to be in the authorized keys, right? So that we're able to use it. Now here's the part. I guess I can run cat command to cat it into that authorized keys, right? I don't remember the tag offhand or the flag. Let me see curl command or curl flags. Data. So yeah, I think it's going to be the data. So it's -d. No, I'll let you know if I get like seriously stuck, man. I'm just trying to think through it right now. It's just kind of my process, I guess. I like to just talk out loud. That's kind of why I started the stream too. Is I just like to talk it through out loud, make sure that it makes sense to me when I say it out loud, and then kind of execute from there. But yeah, so it is the data flag, so tac D, and then we're going to use the cat command to essentially cat the what is it called? ID rsa.pub. ID underscore rsa.pub. We'll close those brackets, close those parentheses, and hopefully this works. No such oh, I'm not even in the right. Let me go to cd home. I'm not in the right directory. what is it called? Active MQ. Wait, what? I must have misspelled it again. Yeah, I did. Okay, and we'll cd into the .ssh. Oh, maybe that's why. Let's do SSH keygen again. Yeah. That's why, is it didn't save into there. So uh, where do we want to save it? We'll do /temp, right? We'll do no passwords. So we'll go into cd temp. Of course, there's nothing there. I'm doing something wrong here. Keygen. Okay, there we go. So now I got them in there. Let me grab that command that I ran, that curl command, so I'm not having to redo all of that. Okay, whether or not this worked, I have no idea. But yeah, we'll find out, I guess. So we use tac I, right? And then we'll use ID underscore RSA. So tac I just allows for you to use this ID RSA key whenever you're SSHing so that you're not having to like enter in a password or anything like that. And then we'll do root at 127.0.0.1. Yes. Hey, it worked. Sweet. Hell yeah, man. So yeah, that was wow, that was a little more difficult. That shouldn't have been I don't know, like some of these boxes, like they'll say that they're easy, and then it just goes to like an extreme on like either Privesk or like the initial foothold, and then the other part is easy. In this case, the initial foothold was very very simple. Just actually Googled an exploit for what is it called? I've just something MQ. Literally just forgot the name of it. Some kind of Apache web server, active MQ, right? Uh, Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. Like some of them are just like cake. Like I've done some of them that were insane level, and it was actually more easy than some of them that I've done that were like easy. I don't understand it sometimes. I don't understand their rating. But it is what it is. I might actually go back to the offensive security ones. They're proving grounds. Those were pretty dope. But anyway, yeah. So just to recap on everything that we just did, ran an in-map scan, found out the port 80 was open. Go to port 80. It asked me to log in, so I tried credentials of admin. It let me log in. I see that there's a web server here from the Apache Software Foundation called ActiveMQ. Poked around, found a version number. Yeah. I used to do them all the time, and then I don't know why. I just ended up going over to Hack the Box or whatever. I might actually go back to them. Definitely like doing them. Uh, yeah, same. I would definitely recommend Try Hack Me. I've actually learned a lot from Try Hack Me whenever I was first starting out. Uh, that was like one of my go to places for education. Definitely recommend doing that too. Anyway, so yeah, we went to this active MQ, did a Google search, ended up finding this exploit. We downloaded the exploit. It required us to make a reverse shell, MSF Venom shell. Ended up running the script that it had, and what it did was it downloaded an XML file, which downloaded that reverse shell, which kicked us out a shell over here. Yeah, dude, I 100% would recommend doing the try hack me for sure. Their courses, man, they're really good at explaining things on there. And then once you move into like a more, I don't want to say advanced level, but once you learn a little bit more about, all of that, I would recommend going into Hack the Box. Hack the Box is going to have a lot of your more realistic type of scenarios in it. So it does get a little bit harder in that sense. Also, check out Offset Proving Grounds. They do have a free version of that stuff, uh, but I would recommend doing that once you actually go for like OSCP and things of that sort. So yeah, once we got that initial foothold, we ended up doing sudo -l. Realized that we could run Nginx as root, and then from there we set that up with the help of Chat GPT on the configuration file because I'm not that familiar with the Nginx configurations. We set that up, ran it. It was running as root. So then we created our SSH keys, saved those into the temp directory, and then use the put command. So we ran curl, did x dash put, uh, went to the local host on port 4444 that Nginx was running on, into the root directory, into the .ssh directory, and then into the authorized keys file. We use the data to essentially cat the SSH keys into that. You said once you have a better understanding about pen testing, then move on to HTB Academy. Yes, yeah, HTB Academy is really awesome as well. I would definitely recommend spending a little bit of money on that. It's not much. I think it's like $8 a month or something like that. But again, it's more of like a realistic type setting. Like they'll have more realistic type scenarios. So do the try hack me first for free, and then once you kind of evolve into that, definitely go into the HTB Academy. Another one that I would highly recommend also is Portswigger Academy for the web app pen testing. Somebody actually recommended that to me recently, even though, like I said, man, I've got like a million certs hanging up on the wall up here. But I still like to learn, still definitely want to learn, every day. So that Portswigger Academy is awesome. Alrighty. So yeah, once we got the SSH keys onto that authorized keys file, we just SSH'd in as roots onto the local host, and boom, now we're a root. So let me go ahead and uh, let's see. Let me go ahead and get that flag real quick. If I can type today, man, I'm off today. Capture that flag. Let me go ahead and input it into our Hack the Box UI here. Click submit, and boom. So we just owned broker, which was supposed to be easy, but wasn't quite. I would say it was either not too easy or medium. I'm going to do not too easy just because it was based on me not really fully knowing Nginx and like the configuration files and how those work. So yeah, yeah, for sure. Definitely stay in contact too. I know you sent that email to me. I'll get back to you on that. But yeah, definitely stay in contact with that, man. I'll help you out too if you ever need any assistance, or you aren't quite learning something, man. I'm more than happy to explain something to you. Do I have any certs? Yeah, man. I went over this a little bit ago. I have CompTIA. I have the Sec Plus, CISA Plus. I have the offensive security certs. I have OSWP, OSCP. Uh, I also have 4 SAN certs. It's funny, I have to look at them just to remember. I have the GIAC incident handler cert. I have the GPIN cert. I have the cloud penetration testing cert, and then the GIAC Red Team Professional. Yep, yep. He's working on Google Cybersecurity cert right now. Cool, cool. Alrighty. Let me close that out. Yeah, dude, I started grinding out some certs, man. I'm not done by any means. I'm just awaiting funds and kind of taking a little bit of a break. But yeah, yeah, that's what I said, man. Like Google has their stuff. I haven't taken any of their certs yet, but they have good stuff from what I've been told. Cool. Alrighty, guys. Well, make sure you visit savagehack.com. Support the site. Check it out. There are other videos up there too. If you ever have any, requests for any kind of videos or any kind of live stream topics that you might want to see, definitely let me know. Feel free to reach out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about it. Join me back next Monday for Mr. Robot Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for joining in. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for being interactive with me. Hope to see you next time.